Tasmania. You look at it on a map, right? Just this rugged island off Australia's southern coast. But for anyone interested in evolution, it's one of the most remarkable places anywhere, like a biological time capsule.
It really is. It's allowed survival and adaptation to reach some truly, let's say, bizarre levels.
Yeah, bizarre is a good word for it.
It's a crucible, basically. Everything thriving there has been shaped by, intense isolation and survival pressure. We're diving in some fascinating details about its signature wildlife today. Creatures with adaptations that honestly seem unbelievable anywhere else.
Okay, so our mission today is really to give you a shortcut, a way to grasp the most astonishing survival strategies happening down there in Tasmania. We're talking egg-laying mammals with a literal sixth sense.
Yeah, and the planet's strongest bite force, relatively speaking.
Plus burrowing architects whose rear end is basically an inch-thick biological blast door. It's pretty wild stuff.
It's a goldmine of surprising facts, definitely. So where shall we start? I think maybe with the island's top predators, the apex marsupials.
Good idea. The quolls and the Tasmanian devils.
Exactly.
Let's kick off with the quolls then. They look, well, deceptively familiar, don't they? Sort of like a spotted cat mixed with a possum.
They do, but don't let that fool you. They are ferocious hunters. We're focusing on the two Tasmanian species, the eastern quoll and the spotted-tailed quoll.
That's also called the tiger quoll.
That's the one. And the tiger quoll really shows you the scale of Tasmanian evolution. It can weigh up to 7 kilograms.
7 kilos, wow.
Yeah, that makes it 15 times larger than some of its smaller cousins. But what's really fascinating is their sheer versatility.
Adaptability. The sources called them all-terrain animals.
Pretty much. They're expert climbers, powerful diggers, and surprisingly strong swimmers, too. They thrive everywhere, forests, grasslands, even jungle shrubland.
Okay, and their appearance, those spots, that's key, isn't it?
Absolutely key. Every quoll spot pattern is unique, like a fingerprint, basically. And this pattern, it goes all the way down their tails. It acts as incredible camouflage, mimics the dappled light filtering through the trees onto the forest floor.
Oh, they blend right in.
Perfectly. In fact, some scientists argue maybe they should be called leopard quolls instead of tiger quolls because of the spots. Makes sense, really.
It does. But despite being these master hunters, they have this one, well, baffling social habit. The communal latrine?
Oh, yeah. That one. It sounds strange, but up to 100 different individuals might use the exact same spot.
100? Why?
It's like the quoll version of social media.
Yeah.
Seriously. They communicate critical information through their scat.
You mean by smelling it?
Exactly.
Okay.
They can tell who's nearby, if they're ready to mate, even what they've been eating. It's an incredibly efficient way to manage a solitary life, but stay socially aware.
Huh. Efficient, maybe, but still.
Yeah.
Anyway, that focus on survival is crucial, especially for the eastern quoll, right? They had a rough time on the mainland.
They really did. Driven to extinction on mainland Australia, mostly because of introduced predators like cats and foxes. It's a classic story, unfortunately.
Like, there's some good news now. A hopeful chapter.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Since about 2016, there have been these really successful reintroduction programs. Scientists took captive raised animals from Tasmania,
Right.
fitted them with GPS collars, and released them into these large fenced reserves like one north of Canberra. And it's working. They're breeding.
That's fantastic news. Proof that conservation can work.
It really is. It shows they can claw their way back with a bit of help.
Okay, so if there's hope for the quoll, what about their bigger, maybe more famous relative, the Tasmanian devil? Their situation seems much more intense.
It is. The devil is the largest carnivorous marsupial left in the world, since the thylacine went extinct.
And that name, devil, it came from the early European settlers.
Yeah, they heard these truly terrifying sounds at night. Ravenous howls, grunts, screams echoing through the dark. You can see why they call them devils.
They look pretty fierce, too, with that wide jaw snarl. But is it all just show?
A lot of it is, apparently. The sources suggest that display is mostly bluff, to scare off competitors. Yeah. But that bluff is backed up by some serious biological hardware.
Okay, let's talk about the bite.
Right. They have the strongest bite relative to their body size of any known mammal, period.
Wow. How strong are we talking, and why is that so critical for them?
We're talking 553 newtons of force. And they need it because they are the ultimate scavengers. Think hyenas, but marsupial. Their skulls even look a bit similar. They consume the entire carcass, meat, bones, sinew, everything.
Yeah.
Carrion is the biggest part of their diet, and that bite means nothing goes to waste.
That must lead to some pretty intense dinner parties.
Oh, definitely. When a group descends on a meal, maybe 5 to 12 devils, there's a real power dynamic. The dominant males eat first.
What do they go for?
The good stuff. Eyes, inner organs, the soft, high-value parts. Then the smaller ones fight over the scraps. That's where all those scars come from.
Makes sense. And their bodies are pretty unique too, right? Their walk.
Yeah, their gait looks a bit funny because their front legs were actually longer than their back legs. It seems awkward, but it really helps them scramble up twisted trees quickly to escape danger.
And my favorite detail, the pink ears, like little warning lights.
Huh. Yeah, they are. They can't sweat effectively, so those ears are crucial for thermoregulation, for cooling down.
How does that work?
When they're exerting themselves, or it's hot, they pump blood into their ears. The ears turn bright reddish pink, and that radiates heat away rapidly. It's like a built-in radiator system, visible to everyone.
Amazing. But unfortunately, we can't talk about devils without talking about the crisis they're facing. DFTD, devil facial tumor disease.
Yeah, it's a truly devastating situation. It's one of the only known communicable cancers. It spreads when they bite each other, which happens a lot during feeding or mating.
And the effect.
Catastrophic. Since it emerged around 1996, it's wiped out up to 90% of the wild population in some areas. The tumors grow around the face and mouth, and eventually they just can't eat.
It sounds almost insurmountable, but there's a glimmer of hope tied to how they live.
There is. What's fascinating, in a grim way, is that devils live fast and die young, only 4 or 5 years in the wild.
How does that help?
Well, that short generation time means natural selection can happen incredibly quickly. Evolution gets put on fast forward. Scientists think there's actually a decent chance, maybe 57%, that the devils will naturally evolve resistance and learn to coexist with DFTD.
So their short, intense lives might ironically be their saving grace.
It could be. That compressed lifespan might be the key to adapting. And in the meantime, there's the insurance population on Maria Island.
Right, the disease-free group.
Exactly. They started with just 15 devils back in 2012, and now there are over 100. It's crucial for securing their genetic future, just in case.
Okay, wow. From fierce predators to, something entirely different. Let's shift gears to a real evolutionary pioneer, the echidna, the spiny anteater.
Ah, the monotremes.
Yeah.
Yes. The echidna is one of only 2 surviving genera in that ancient order, the other being the platypus, of course.
And they are old, like ancient mammals.
Some of the oldest surviving mammals on Earth? Yes. We have fossils going back 17 million years. True living fossils.
And the thing that just blows my mind, the defining feature separating them from almost all other mammals,
They lay eggs.
egg-laying mammals, it still sounds incredible. Why? Why eggs?
Well, the theory is it's an ancient reproductive strategy. It probably evolved back when their ancestors spent a lot more time in water. Laying eggs might have helped protect the offspring from drowning.
Makes sense. But the echidna has another trick up its sleeve, right? A kind of superpower.
It really does. Electroreceptors on its snout, like sharks or electric fish.
Wait, on land, how does that work?
They're one of the very few land animals that can do this. As they forage, poking their snout around, they use these receptors to detect the tiny electrical signals from muscle movements.
So they can sense ants and termites underground.
Exactly. Even deep underground. It's literally a sixth sense for finding food where other animals couldn't.
That's amazing. And once they find them, powerful claws, long, sticky tongue.
Yep, they dig incredibly fast with those claws. And the tongue. It can shoot out up to 18 centimeters. That's like half their body length.
Whoa.
And since they don't have any teeth, once they slurp up the ants or termites, they just crush the food against the roof of their mouth. Effective, if not pretty.
Despite that simple diet, though, they're surprisingly smart.
Oh, absolutely. Their brains are quite large for their body size, with a massive prefrontal cortex. That suggests some pretty high-level strategic thinking.
As smart as cats. Rats.
Yeah, tests show they're in that league for problem solving. And here's another thing. They experience REM sleep.
Rapid eye movement sleep.
So these ancient, spiny, egg-laying creatures, they probably dream.
That is just wonderful. Okay, defense mechanisms. The classic spike ball.
Iconic, right. Those spikes are basically modified hairs made of keratin. That's the first line of defense, just roll up.
But their face is specially adapted, too. Their eyes.
Yeah, their eyes are kind of hard and flat. The sources describe it as giving them an insane focal length, meaning they can spot tiny movements from really far away, helping them detect predators early. And crucially, that hardness protects their eyes from their own spikes when they curl up. Clever design.
Very clever. And their mating life sounds complicated. Four-pronged anatomy.
Highly specialized, let's say. The males have four-pronged genitalia, but they only use two prongs at a time, alternating sides.
Uh-huh.
And the courtship involves this thing called the male train. You get multiple males all following a single female, sometimes for days. The dominant males jostle for position right behind her, hoping for a chance to mate.
A train of hopeful males. Tasmania, you keep delivering.
It never stops being weird and wonderful.
Okay, from the spiny echidna to the armored wombat, often called the cutest living teddy bear, but they're actually pretty tough.
Well, they are. Big, muscular, and surprisingly speedy. They're herbivores, sure, with a super slow metabolism, takes maybe 2 weeks to digest a meal.
2 weeks.
Yeah. But don't mistake slow digestion for slow movement. They can sprint as fast as Usain Bolt for short bursts, up to a minute if they need to escape.
Wow. And their diet, all that tough, gritty plant matter requires a special adaptation for their teeth, doesn't it? Like beavers.
Exactly like beavers. It's a perfect example of convergent evolution.
Mm.
Different animals evolving the same solution independently. Their teeth are constantly worn down by chewing tough stuff.
So they just keep growing.
Continuously growing, rodent-like teeth ensures they never run out of chewing power. Pretty essential.
And they're master diggers, right? The largest burrowing marsupial.
That's right. Their burrows, or warrens, are incredible feats of engineering, sometimes 20 meters long, with maybe 15 different entrances, huge underground networks.
And because they dig so much, their pouch opens.
Yes,
backwards.
yeah, another simple but brilliant adaptation. It prevents dirt and debris from getting shoveled into the pouch and onto the joey while Mum is excavating.
Smart. And we saw reports about these burrows being important during bushfires, offering shelter.
They did. Their massive low-lying tunnels provided sanctuary for lots of animals seeking refuge from the flames, while some reports called it heroism.
Maybe accidental landlords is better.
Huh. Yeah, squatting by other animals is probably more accurate. But still, just by building their homes, they created these vital, fire-safe havens.
Incredible impact. But the wombat's ultimate defense, especially against something like a Tassie devil, is, well, it's their butt, isn't it?
It absolutely is. It's basically a biological blast door. They have this incredibly thick, maybe an inch thick, plate of cartilage covering their entire pelvis.
An inch thick.
Yeah. So when a predator comes along, they just dive headfirst into their burrow and leave that heavily armored, thick-plated rear end blocking the entrance.
Making it impossible to bite or pull them out.
Pretty much impossible. It's pure defensive genius. Solid cartilage shield.
Okay, we have to talk about the poo. The cubed poo. It's maybe their most famous feature.
It definitely gets the most attention. And it's a unique communication strategy. They stack their scat on rocks and logs to mark territory.
And cubes don't roll away like round pellets would.
Exactly. But how they make cubes? That's still a bit of a mystery. Scientists know it happens in the final section of the intestine. It has these alternating, stretchy, and rigid sections that somehow form the faces and corners.
But engineers are still trying to figure out the exact mechanics.
They are. How to naturally engineer a cube inside a soft tube is a puzzle they're actively studying. Nature got there first.
Amazing. Okay, before we wrap up this deep dive, there are a few other residents worth mentioning that really underscore Tasmania's uniqueness.
Definitely. Can't forget the smaller marsupials. Like the skittish pademelons, they're smaller than wallabies, and their joeys are born tiny in the fall. And the really adaptable redneck wallabies are common too.
But visually, the most striking thing might be that colony of white wallabies on Bruny Island. Albino wallabies.
Yeah, about 200 of them. They're albino variants of the Bennett's wallaby. They stick out like bright white ghosts against the green landscape.
How do they survive being so conspicuous?
Because Bruny Island lacks their main natural predators, like wedge-tailed eagles or devils. Without that pressure, the white fur doesn't get selected against. It's another example of island isolation effects.
Right. And we should probably mention the biggest danger to humans on the island.
Ah, yes, the tiger snake. It's Tasmania's most dangerous animal, responsible for about 20% of all snake bites in Australia, apparently.
And it's versatile, too. Hunts on land and water.
Incredibly versatile. Hunts rats and mice on land, but it's also happy hunting underwater. It can hold its breath for up to 10 minutes to catch fish and frogs. A serious predator.
Okay, and finally, the strangeness isn't just biological, is it? There's that geological feature. The tesselated pavement.
Oh, that's stunning. A really rare geological phenomenon. You get these flat rock platforms near the coast.
And they look like perfect square tiles.
Almost perfect. It happens when salt crystals and water erosion work on just the right type of rock. cracking it into this incredible checkerboard pattern of tiles and grooves. It looks completely man-made, stretching out into the ocean. Just proves the island is unique right down to its foundations.
So wrapping this all up, what does this journey through Tasmania's wild wonders mean for you, the listener? We've seen incredible extremes.
We really have. The strongest relative bite force, specialized QX gat, electrosensing snouts, mammals that still lay eggs.
And all these features are direct results of that intense evolutionary pressure cooker and isolated high-stakes island ecosystem.
It really highlights how isolation acts as a catalyst, doesn't it? Survival pressures on an island select for the weirdest, but also the most effective adaptations. Whether it's a butt shield
Or a sixth sense.
or just being able to eat absolutely everything, bones and all, the sheer novelty of life there is just staggering.
It really is. And maybe a final thought to leave you with. Think about the fast and furious lives of the Tasmanian devil and the quoll.
Living only 4 or 5 years.
That rapid-fire generation time is exactly what might be allowing natural selection to work overtime, potentially giving them a fighting chance to evolve resistance to modern threats like DFTD.
It raises a fascinating question, doesn't it? What other short lifespan species out there might be undergoing accelerated evolution right now? Changes we might not even notice.
Until they survive something catastrophic that wipes out their longer-lived cousins. Something definitely worth pondering on your own time.